Hi guys, this is Roman from McNastys Body and Paint. Today we're here at the body shop and we're going to go over a few demos of the Plasti-Dip and the spray can. Got 4 separate wheels. The first one there on your right, we're doing just in regular Plasti-Dip black. The next one's going to be in the new vintage gold color that Dip Your Car has on its website. The last two, the first one there is the Blaze blue, and then the last one is the Blaze orange. With the Blaze colors, I have to put a white base coat down in order for the Blaze colors to actually cover well. If you don't put a base coat underneath that, it takes forever and ever and ever to actually cover, and also the white actually makes it more vibrant, so it's best to use a white base coat under any of the Blaze colors. The first step here is to go ahead and wash and do your wheels and degrease them. It's best to do this about 24 hours beforehand, or the most amount of time that possible. What happens is, guys, if you get water or anything down around the beads or in the lug nut holes, the Plasti-Dip will not adhere, and this is where you see a lot of your problems from it lifting and coming loose. So what we did is we already went ahead and washed and degreased these wheels, and now what we're doing is we're actually applying tire shine or a tire gel to the rubber portion of the tire, so that way when we actually Plasti-Dip the rim, we don't have to worry about masking it off and taking time to do that. So right here I'm just going to show you. You just get an applicator and some tire shine gel, and you just go around the rubber portion of the wheel. Do your best to not get any on the rim, as that'll make the Plasti-Dip not adhere well. So like I said, what we do is we just do this around the actual rubber portion of the wheel. It's best to use a sponge here. I wouldn't recommend a spray. A gel works a lot better. That way you can actually have more control of where it goes. It doesn't have to be real thick. Actually, I just like to make it look wet. And like I said, I try to get in here as best as I can, get in all the little ridges and stuff in the sidewalls. That way you make sure for proper protection, so that way you don't have to worry about your dip sticking to the tire and making a mess. And this is going to save you loads of time when it comes time to not have to mask these things up. We've done got the tire gel applied to all 4 of the wheels. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use what they call as a wax and grease remover. This is just a cheaper variant. Every paint company makes their own. But what it does is it just gets all the oils and stuff off the materials that you're getting ready to paint or Plasti-Dip. That way there's no chemical reactions or anything like that to keep the paint or Plasti-Dip from bonding. Also, this is to ensure that none of the tire gel is left on the rim around where we put it on with the sponge or the applicator. So what I'm going to do is I like to use a 2-rag method. What I do is I actually take the wax and grease remover and I apply it into the rag, the first rag, get it wet, and then what I do is I go around and I just check the edges and try to get all the tire gel that's left in there, if there is any, and then I go ahead and do the whole face of the wheel. That way this gets rid of all the oils from your fingerprints and handling the wheels and tires, or if you sweat in it like I do, or anything like that. And then like I said, before this dries, you need to take the second towel that's dry and just clean it back up and wipe it to a dryness. This stuff does evaporate as it dries, but it's best to try to get it off before it dries. That way you make sure you get every ounce of it off. And that way, the more towels it's touching the surface, the cleaner it's going to be. What we're doing here is I'm just going to do a little demo for you. This here is just a regular can of Plasti-Dip with the stock nozzle on it. DipYourCar.com actually sells nozzles, and they look like this. They actually widen up your spray pattern, and if you don't have the applicator gun to use, it's best to use this nozzle on big surfaces like hoods or bedsides or quarter panels or roofs. So right here what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to spray one section with the regular nozzles, stop, switch nozzles, and then go back with this nozzle and show you the difference. I'm going to go with the regular nozzle on its first pass. I'm just making it thick so you guys can see it, but I'm not moving. That's its stock nozzle right there. I'm going to go ahead real quick and switch these nozzles. And here we go with the second nozzle. As you can see, the spray pattern's about double on that. I had some breeze kind of come through and blow the pattern a little bit. But as you can see, it's about double, so this will work really good on larger panels to keep you from doing the tiger striping or having uneven texture patterns. Ready to actually lay the white base coat down for our Blaze colors. Just to show you guys that these are actual roadworthy wheels. They're not brand new wheels we're pulling off the shelf here. They've got chips, they've got scratches, curb issues and stuff like that. So I'm going to actually show you how this stuff feels or it doesn't feel, the imperfections on all of our daily driver type wheels. Hopefully this will answer some of your guys' questions. I know a lot of people ask if it feels chips or scratches like on bumpers or wheels or any of that kind of stuff. So this will give you kind of an idea on actual real wheels that are actually roadworthy, what's going on here. So here we go. I'm actually going to go ahead and start laying down the first coat of white. Again, we've already tire shined these tires, so we can just go ahead. The first coat, you want about a 50-50 transparency. That way it gives the Plasti-Dip something to stick to on the second coat. So you just go. You just want to go around the wheel. Go ahead and get on the tire. What you're going to need is once you get ready to peel this stuff off on the actual rubber, you're going to need as much coats as you can around the edge. That way it peels off a lot better. The thicker it is, the easier it peels. Okay guys, here we come across a little issue. There's actually like a piece of hair contaminant, or maybe even like some grass or something that fell into the dip as we was spraying. What you do to fix that is you get like a latex glove, works the best, but I use little plastic bags and some lacquer thinner. And what I do is I actually dip my finger down into the thinner and put it on the plastic or the latex glove. And then what you do is you just use your finger like sandpaper until that feathers out. And what this does is that allows it to have a nice smooth edge. And then you can come back in like that, let that dry, and then come back and re-dip where you was at. And we're going to go ahead and do the blue. Like I said, your white's already come down and covered the factory silver, so you're not going to have a big, huge coverage factor. This stuff's really transparent, and this white's actually going to make it pop. The more coats you add, the bluer it gets. So we're going to just go with a couple coats for now and see if we like it. If we want more blue, we'll add more later. So I'm going to go ahead here with the first coat. Like I said, you want a 50-50 transparency with your first coat to give the Plasti-Dip something to stick, and you want to go ahead and do over the tire and everything. For the second coat. Like I said, this stuff is really transparent, so it splotches real easy and it gives you heavy spots. So you want to kind of make sure you're doing a nice 80-20. Actually, I'm doing like a 70-30 overlap. That way I'm making sure that I'm getting everything covered and not leaving any kind of stripes or blotches. We start the third coat, and if you notice around the edges here, you're still white down here in the bead. This is kind of stuff you need to look for, so that way you got proper coverages. Same thing like right here on this spoke, it's real white. So like I said, this third coat here, you need to try to start going ahead and getting everything fully covered. We'll go ahead and touch these spots up here real quick. Just make a run around the bead, and then like in there, see how that covered and all that stuff covered. Just do the same thing with the rest of the wheel. Check all your edges real good, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this third coat up, and we'll come back to you for the final. Go ahead and apply the final coat. Like I said, pretty much now what I'm doing is trying to achieve a nice even texture. We've got pretty much all the spots covered. It looks pretty good. So here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and put on a nice thick final coat, so that way it's got a nice smooth texture and it's going to lay out and have a nice finish to it. So I'll just start right here. You kind of want to get just a little bit closer, about 6 inches away. Before I was about 8, and then that way, like I said, we can get a nice, thick, heavy, even coat. Try not to run it or anything like that, but just keep moving. Remember, like I said, you want to do like a 70-30 overlap to keep it from tiger striping or anything like that. We're going to come back to this blaze orange. Just like the blue, you have to have a white base coat down before you start with it. Same rules applies with the other blue, with the blue that we just did. You want to do a 50-50 coat transparency, just to give the first couple coats, or the second and third and so on coats after that, something to bite too, so you can start pouring it on there. So like I said, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll do a 50-50 transparency first coat here. Notice this stuff is really bright. Got the first coat tacked, ready to go. What we're going to do now is just apply a nice even second coat and go from there. Like I said, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and start around the edge. That way you can make sure you don't forget it. Just get down there in the bead. And then just do your nice overlaps. Do a 70-30. 80-20, just kind of preference. Got the second and third coat on it. As you see, it's kind of covered quite nice. I'm going to go ahead and do one more coat like we did the Blaze Blue, which is right there next to it. And like I said, there's the combo of the two Blaze colors that we got. This is the Blaze one that we finished up. I'm just going to kind of show you what that tire gel does. It makes it super nice for this stuff to come off. And like I said, the thicker coat you got of the Plasti-Dip makes it twice as easy. Like I said, it's all nice, one big healthy piece. Like I said, then the rest you can take with a microfiber towel and it'll peel it the rest of the way off, guys. Like I said, it's as simple as it can get. The Blaze colors had a white base coat they had to go under, and then they had 4 coats of themselves. So you're looking at probably about 8 coats per wheel right there total for both of those wheels. So like I said, it did cover those nicks and scratches pretty well. But like I said, this stuff's going to be a little bit thinner. It's got metallic content. So this is kind of like a different breed of animal when it comes to the Plasti-Dip. Okay guys, so like I said, this is the vintage gold metallic, and the same rules still apply. Just do a 50-50 coat just for transparency, spray over the tires and everything. Make sure this is shook up. That's the biggest factor I can tell you right now, and the biggest tip is just keep shaking this stuff. Your overlap is super important with this stuff too. Like I said, it does have metallics. Anybody that knows how to paint or has painted knows that metallics are very difficult. And like I said, your overlap is super important. You want an 80-20 overlap, and make sure that it's not blotched in or tiger striped. And like I said, you want your 50-50 transparency just to give the next couple coats to stick. Get inside all the spokes and let that dry. We've had the chance for that first coat to tack up, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I've been sitting here shaking this the whole time. That's very, very important with these metallics, is just keep shaking it. And just like with the other two, you just go around your bead, make sure you get in there. And then just start with your overlaps. Alright guys, as you can see, this stuff covers really well. I'm going to go ahead and do a final coat. I just completed my third coat, but I'm just going to go ahead for you guys and show you, like I said, just do a final coat and do a walk around just to make sure that all the edges and stuff are nice. Here we are with the last one, just a regular, good old classic Plasti-Dip black. Matte finish, nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just like the first thing that started it all out. We'll do the 50-50 first coat. Second coat, just lay it on there with your 80-20 overlap, 70-30. This stuff actually sprays the easiest of all the colors. Just make sure it covers. So we're gonna go ahead and peel this. Like I said, it's super easy. That tire gel makes it a breeze. Peel it towards the wheel so you get the break at the bead of the rim. And just be real easy. You can walk it around and you get the whole nice one piece. All you do is you take a shop rag or a microfiber towel and you just go around, just wipe the stuff right off. Guys, I went ahead, we're running short on time, it's getting kind of dark and the bugs are starting to get out, so I went ahead and wrapped this thing up. It's good to go. We're just letting it dry. I'd like you to check out my shop's Facebook page. It's McNastys Body and Paint, and like I said, keep in touch for further YouTube videos and how-tos. And on July the 26th, which is this coming Friday, I have a European exotic coming to town, and we'll be Plasti-Dipping the car in front of the crowd. Location's 255 Heritage Drive in Somerset, Kentucky, 42501. And I also do restorations, collision work, insurance work, and detailing. If you dream it, I can do it. Thank you again for watching. And this is Roman from McNastys Body and Paint.